What is up, guys, and welcome back to iRacing. Today we're taking part in an event I was invited to by WTF1. It was actually their 10th anniversary, and yeah, they invited me to this F3 race with a bunch of racing drivers and YouTube-y kind of people. We had Emerson Fittipaldi in this race, former F1 world champion, and you guys will know that he's one of the more old school racers. He is 73 years old and taking part in sim racing. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how amazing that is? And yeah, that you already know what the title of the video is. Yeah, I don't know whether to be impressed about that or kind of embarrassed, but you know, Emerson, bloody amazing driver. But anyway, here we are at Laguna Seca. This is an F3 race, which I have not prepared for. I've jumped straight into practice here. There was thankfully, they hosted a practice session before qualifying and the race got underway. And I was utilizing that 30-minute practice session to get up to speed with these Formula 3 cars once again. And I tell you what, I was absolutely rubbish. You can see I'm going off left, right, and center. I was letting someone go through, Ollie Rowland, race car driver himself. And yeah, just kind of screwed myself over there. Again, the fast left-hander, proving to be very difficult for me today. Normally getting caught up in the sausage curves, but this time around, or that time, just spun out on my own accord. Same too with that last crash there. We end up in practice towards the back there with a 17.8. Emerson Fittipaldi himself, 2/10 clear of me. So I have been beaten by a 73-year-old, but not just any 73-year-old. Former F1 world champion. So I guess I can't be too disappointed in that. We're going to move into qualifying now, and we're going to see what we can muster. So this is a 2-lap quali. This is my second lap here, the better lap that I managed to string together. The time that I set in practice was a 17.8, whereas this time, so far that I've got is an 18.0. So 2/10 away. We'll hopefully look to improve on that if we can. But we will wait and see. I actually did go from the race setup to the quali setup in practice, and I went slower, so my confidence was not high heading into this 2-lap shootout. But we shall wait and see. I can't remember if I mentioned already, but WTF1 were hosting their own stream, and they made it a charity stream, so I'll leave a link to the charity down in the description. You guys can go check it out. It is for the Royal Brompton and Harefield Hospitals charity. A really good cause, and massive shout out to those guys for raising over £15,000 for a great cause. Link in the description, like I said. But anyway, 5/10 up, and we are looking the goods here, kind of, for maybe a midfield start in this race if we can. You would have to say that with 2 laps only on offer, that people would go slower in this session. But I guess we'll wait and see. The optimal is a 17.5. We're going to come across the line and lose a bit of time. Not a great exit out of the final corner. It is a 17.602. We do out-qualify Emerson Fittipaldi, but only because he didn't qualify, or he didn't get a time in. I'm not too sure which. It is 13th place on the grid for the start of this race. Out-qualifying Jody Mills, Alex Gilland, Ollie Rowland, Davide Valsecchi, Mike Chanel, Kelvin Vanderlind, and there's some absolutely rapid guys up there. Max Aiken, or shall I say Jack Aiken, F1 reserve driver up there. Matt Gallagher is also pretty pacey in these cars. He's been doing a lot of practice, so he'll be one to beat, I would say, in this lobby. Same too with like Alex Gillen and Jody Mills. They've all been sweating the F3 cars quite a bit recently, but let's see what we can muster in this race. If we can just avoid the trouble, I think we might be on for a good result. Top 10 would be nice. But thanks, Matt, for telling us literally 2 seconds before the start of the race that we need to make a pit stop. It was my understanding that we didn't need to make a stop in this race, but I'm very frantically trying to adjust the fuel level in the incoming stop, but the red lights are coming on now. The race is getting underway. 4 red lights, and away we go for the Grand Prix of Laguna Seca. It's been a pretty good start from us. Maybe it's just the F1 game that we're cursed on with starts, but away we go. P11 for the taking. We might get P10 already as we got the inside of Sadokist into turn 1, fighting to avoid a burp, am I? And I'm also fighting to avoid that green car who got spun out at turn 2. But there we go. What do I say now? What do I say now? It's been a good start, I suppose. Why am I a YouTuber? I don't really know. But, yeah, fighting our way through. If we just keep a clean nose, I think we should be on for a good result, like I said, in just about every video I've ever made, ever. Yeah. Yeah, if we crash out at turn 1 and kill everyone, yeah, we'll be on for a good race, won't we? Said no one ever. But we're running up the hill now, and we're trying to go around the outside of Toby here. Really late under brakes. Oh, these two getting all tangled up together, and had to cut the corkscrew in order to get through there. It's literally like the movie 2012. I'm having to avoid literally everything. I'm that guy in the limo. The buildings are collapsing around me, and I'm just trying to survive, really. Looks like, for the most part, we're doing okay, as we got a slow down penalty, had to address that, and now we are clear to press on in this race. Ollie Rowland started P20. He's up to P6, P7. Yeah, we're P7, and Ollie Rowland is P6. We've got Jody Mills right behind us, who is a long-time rival from AOR back in Season 1 and 2 of the league's creation. It's pretty funny to see us sharing the racetrack and just racing each other again as I bottle it at the fast left-hander, who had bets on me stuffing it up on lap 2. Probably a lot of you guys. That corner is just, I don't know, it just catches me out. It's a lot tighter than what I think it is, and I don't quite know the limits of this F3 car. But as this race goes on, we get more and more experience, and we get a little bit more into a rhythm. Here's Matt's start of the race.
Just avoiding all the carnage.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Have you spun?
Yes, he has. He's done a me. Matt's human after all.
Flipping.
Can we get some Fs in chat for Matthew, please? We've got a yellow flag up ahead. And this is just my POV of Matt's spin. Unfortunately, Matt didn't succumb to us there. He gets overtaken by Jody Mills, who is actually... Yeah, Matt and Jody Mills are best mates. You guys may know about Jody Mills if you've seen the early Sprint Mode Championship stuff. But it's quite funny to see Jody, Matt, me, and Alex all on the same part of the track as each other, given that we're kind of like AOR OGs. But yeah, it really is kind of nostalgic to be racing these guys again. Matt with a big boy lock up into turn 1. No positional loss there. But I'm just clinging on to Jody Mills' slipstream here as best I can. Jody is a lot faster than me, so too is Matt and Alex. That's James Poole spinning out at the exit of the corkscrew section. Alex Gillen now is ranging up onto the back of me. 6/10 behind me as we move on to the next lap. He's caught up by a couple of tenths. And I was surprised to keep Alex at bay for as long as I did. My pace at this stage did start to stabilize, but then there was nothing stable about that apex at the fast left-hander, and Alex slides on through for P8 in this Grand Prix. We're going to try and hold it around the outside here into the corkscrew, but it's really only a one-line corner, and that shows back-end loss, and that is us losing the position to Mr. Alex Gillen in this race. A total of 3 incident points against our name. I don't think there's any kind of limit, so there won't be any drive-through heading our way. One thing we do have, though, is actual stewards reviewing this race, so people were getting drive-throughs handed out to them for misconduct of driving. We get past... Oh, that's Emerson Fittipaldi there we just lapped. So maybe he got taken out, or I don't know, something. That's very quickly to get lapped so early on in this race. So maybe something happened to him. If we do get tangled up in a massive crash, by the way, we do thankfully have one fast repair to utilize. But I'm only going to use that if the car is really bad. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But anyway, Alex is getting away. So too is Jody Mills, and Matthew Gallagher. He really shot up the road at a vast rate of knots. I'm starting to find some pace now. That was a 16.5 that I just did on the last lap. For reference, I did a 17.6 in qualifying. So I'm 1.1 seconds faster than what I was in qualifying. So and this is with fuel on board. So either, it's a bit of both, really. I think maybe the track is a bit faster, but I'm also getting a lot more in tune with what this car can do around this racetrack. I think this little left-hander here, I was turning in too early, and that was really catching me out. But we still get caught out. Don't really know what I did wrong there, to be honest. But, yeah. iRacing is just a different beast. Takes a lot of practice, a lot of dedication, and a lot of talent in order to be good. Here's Jimmy. What's happened here?
Sausage curbs are the worst thing
Same
ever
thing.
put on a racetrack.
We out, lads. Oh no, oh, who's that? That's Jimmy.
It's broken.
What a shame. So, it looks like he just kind of lost the back end as well. I believe he's had some crashes, and that's probably, definitely contributed to why he lost the old back end there. We've had a few little scrapes here and there. I will show a replay of what happened on the first lap, but I believe I did actually rub someone up the wrong way as I negotiated them on the first lap. And I believe we do have some amount of floor damage, but overall, I don't think the damage is that bad for us. It's really just us driving bad, to be honest. But we catch up to Emerson Fittipaldi once again. We get quite familiar with the Brazilian today, whether it be through my mistakes, through his mistakes. That won't be the last of him we see today, but we get past him. Next up is Tommy, and then in front of him is Jimmy Broadbent himself. So these two guys are not having the best race. Jimmy is compromised in terms of damage, I believe. I know that much. And so we're going to see if we can get past these guys and mount a challenge towards Sadokist for the top 8 in this race. So Tommy, please adhere to the blue flags. No? Okay. We're going to have to pass him on track, it seems. As we run out wide, just dipping a wheel into the gravel there. But finally, he lets us go through. And we can now chase after the #1 subscribed shed dweller on YouTube. And we're going to duke it out for King of the Content Creators. There's actually going to be a bit of a rivalry between me and Jimmy this weekend. I don't know when this video is actually going to go out. This was meant to go out on Saturday, but I think it's going out Sunday now. But in about an hour or two's time, as I commentate this, I'm going up against him in not the GP at Baku, but I'm also going up against him.
I think I have some aero damage still, because that's not the best I've ever done that last sector, and Penn still gained.
Yeah, racing driver complaints right there. I'm also going up against Jimmy on Sunday for the virtual GP. So, yeah, we're going to be sick of the sight of each other, I would say, very, very soon. But, yeah, let's see if we can pull an overtake on him. I've not really raced Jimmy before. I've been in practice lobbies with him, but I haven't exactly raced him too much, and it looks like that racing is going to have to wait as he's just binned it in the wall at the fast left-hander. I followed him in, essentially. So let's follow on board and see what happened.
With me and Ollie Rowland,
Oh, God.
catching Jack Aiken.
Oh! I'm definitely dead now. Can we get it around, lads?
Oh, is that you in the wall? Oh, I was too busy watching you.
Caution, yellow flags. They want you in single file. Pit road
Oh.
is closed
Oh.
right now. Catch up.
Safety car.
77
Safety car.
Safety car deployed, everybody. That's a bit unlucky on Jimmy's front. It's just a passenger touched the sausage curb and it threw him right towards the wall. Nothing he can do there. But yeah, that's actually going to save our race a little bit. We were a long way behind the likes of Sadokist, behind Gillen, Matt, Jody, all those guys, and now we're going to get thrown back into the mix. And we're going to make a pit stop. We're going to take our fast repair and we're going to top it up with some fuel as we didn't think he was actually going to stop there. So we have to let him go back through and we'll be fine once again. So into the pit lane we go. It should hopefully be a pretty quick stop as we get a 30-second hold or a 26-second hold for passing under yellow on the way into the pit lane. That's harsh. That is very harsh. I actually thought that would be okay because I let him go back through, but this is going to be a very lengthy pit stop. We're going to have to fast forward this a little bit. Tyre change. We've topped up some fuel. I probably over-fueled the car, to be honest, but I was just more safe than sorry. I didn't really have a good chance to lower the incoming fuel load because, oh, hello, Jimmy's car. Because, yeah, I was racing the whole time. I didn't really have a chance to slow down and really do that. Maybe that's what I should have done on the way into the pit lane, but I was just the last of my priorities, I guess. But once a green, single file, and we are going to go racing once again. Hopefully, we did have a lot of front wheel. Well, hopefully we did have a lot of damage in the first half of the race, and now we can be set to unleash. There will be some people who either didn't stop. I know that Jack Aiken, right up front, hasn't made a pit stop. And others may not have used their quick repair either. So there could be potential gains to be made here if we can keep it clean here on this restart as we try and overtake Tommy WTF1 right in front of us. He is lapped, so he should hopefully get out of the way very promptly. But away we go for green flag running once again here at the Grand Prix of Laguna Seca in these Formula 3 cars. And, well, it's just a sea of blue all around me right now. We're at the back of the queue, essentially. Tommy with the big boy lock up into turn 1. We did gain a position there. Aidan Millwood was sent wide at the exit of turn 1, trying to get past Tommy, who does not know what a blue flag is. All right, wonderful. I don't really know what's going on here. I think Tommy wanted to catch up with Emerson and have a bit of a battle with him. That's why I think he was just pressing on with his race, which is fair play. So we're going to have to overtake these guys manually, the old-fashioned way, or the way that David Croft would want us to. Bloody Crofty always doesn't like the old blue flags, does he? But let's see. Corkscrew. This is, always separates the men from the boys. That's someone running wide there, and one less blue flag car to contend with. We get up the inside of Tommy, who doesn't get a great exit, and we are now through. James Poole is up next. Let's hopefully make quick work of him as well. P10 up next. That is Sadokis, so it looks like we're going to gain a position or two. Another blue flag car running wide, and that is easy slaps for us. I also just heard over the radio someone was getting a drive-through for something. But we've got Ollie Rowland, who is pulling into the pit lane. A lot of incidents kicked off at the back end of this race, and I don't have any footage of it, but trust me, there was lots kicking off at the front of the field. We were the beneficiary of a lot of those incidents, you would say. P8 at the moment, Jody Mills a couple of positions up the road, and Sadokist only a few seconds up the road himself, which will hopefully be able to have a chance at him towards the back end of this race. We're 25 laps into this one, and I believe there's about 10 minutes or less to go. So let's see if we can maximize this opportunity. 2 seconds is the gap, and that is falling as we continue to pump in some good laps. Despite running higher fuel, we're running pretty well in the mid-16s as Sadokist gets a bit disrupted at the final corner. And this gives us the golden run that we need. Heading into turn 1, we're going to fake to the inside and switch to the outside the last second. And we're going to see if we can pull this off around the outside at turns 1 and 2. It never really works, but we're going to see if we can do it regardless. There's a bit of contact between the two of us. And Sadokist holds on for the time being. Whew, it's getting spicy. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this race. Leave a like if you are. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. I do love iRacing. It's just something... You just get such an adrenaline rush from this because the damage is so hardcore. Just the slightest little bit of nudge or running over a curb or something will really affect your performance. So you've got to be so careful with how you go about your racing. And it really does separate the men from the boys. Can we get a nice run into the last corner? Yes, we can. Blue flag car getting in the way for Sadokist once again. And this is the opportunity we need. We're going to hold the outside this time. And we're going to see if we can dummy to the inside. See if he moves back over to the racing line. And to be fair to him, he doesn't do that. So we're going to have to pull it off around the outside. He's completely understeered into us. But we are through now for P7 in this Laguna Seca Grand Prix. We've got a radio coming through as we speak.
Sorry, Ben, I don't know what just happened. Like, you just, like, teleported over me.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that was the voice of Matthew Sadokist right there. I was lagging, or he was lagging, and I actually completely destroyed his car. So I lagged through him, and then Sadokist's car got so much damage from that he was like 2 or 3 seconds slower per lap after that. And as you can see, we're fast forwarding here. I caught him so quickly that I was thinking that he was just letting me catch up again or letting me go back through, but This was just how screwed his car was from that incident, which is a massive shame. We now catch up to him in the corkscrew section, and we're going to have to make the overtake work for us here. At least on our POV, his car doesn't look too bad, but it could be front-on damage. I'm not sure as we really get held up there. I think at this point now he's letting me go back through, and there we go. P7 for us, and we can now hopefully make a charge for the top guys, giving Matthew a bit of a wave there for letting us through. But next up is Billy Munger. Looks like he is pulling into the pit lane. He got a drive-through penalty for...
With car number 19. 1, 2, 3, drive-through penalty.
That's it on the radio there. There was 2 or 3 cars at least who had an incident on this lap, and now Jack Aiken has just pulled out of the pit lane to have a splash and dash to get to the end. Sandy Mitchell is up next, and that means we're up into P5 somehow in this race. I mean, I don't know how I've managed this, but everyone just kept crashing in front of us. So we went from the last car on the lead lap in P12, P13 or something, to now being in P5. It's been an unbelievable day of racing here on iRacing. I really have enjoyed it. Final couple of corners now just to bring it home for a top 5. And of course, the bottle from Tiametmarduk comes out. We've spun at the exit of the corkscrew. Jack Aiken, a Formula 1 driver in waiting, is approaching. The delta is less than a second, and my tyres are all dirty, and he's probably going to have a go at us into the final corner. So we're going to have to keep our wits about us here as someone has won the race. I have no idea. Here comes Jack up the inside, and bye. I don't even know what to say about that. Jack, what are you doing there, fella? I thought your time with Daniel Ricciardo at Renault would have meant that the Savage dive bombs would have come a little bit better than that, but it is P5 for us in the unpracticed, unprepared, dodge 'em, shoot 'em out, drag 'em out street fight here on iRacing. My commentary has been absolutely woeful. I called Jack Aiken Max, which was his brother. I've made countless mistakes both in my driving and in the commentary, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video nonetheless. Here's one last blooper. I tried to do some donuts in the pit lane, but there's just either traction control or there's not enough power to do that, so that was a fail in itself. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Check out the charity donation link down in the description. Thank you to WTF1 for inviting me and having such a good event. I really do appreciate it. And make sure you guys check out my stream this weekend for not the GP and the virtual GP. Until then, I'll see you next time.